How's it going? Kids, watch out for your step, camera guy. Nothing like a morning ginger ale. All right, so this morning we're going to talk about RAM. We're going to talk about RAMs, I should say. So right here we have our 2017 RAM that we built for SEMA a few years back. It's looking gorgeous as ever. And next to it, over this way, we have our 2019 RAM that we built for this year's SEMA. I think it's a 2019, could be a 2020, but anyway, I'm pretty sure it's a 19. But we want to talk about the differences in these two vehicles, the things that make them unique, different, the things that were upgraded by RAM, and it should be a lot of fun. Some things we like, some things we hate. Let's get to it. This was our Ultra Range Max bumper that we did, and the original premise behind this was to be able to run a winch like this that's an integrated solenoid winch. So we brought everything out. This RAM is a diesel, so because it is a diesel and it has an intercooler and there's so many things back in behind there, you don't have a lot of room to have a winch or anything tucked back underneath there. So it forces you in a position to kind of move everything forward, and that's what we did in this model. Now on this specific bumper, the other thing that we did is we made it so the side wings would be modular to fit with AEV's fender flares. We actually love how AEV did their fender flares for these. I mean, they're really neat. They're kind of painstaking to put in, and there's no going back once you do, but they turned out really good. Now with the Range Max Ultra, something that we did a little bit different on these bumpers is we allowed for a lot of access points for your hands to go in, to reach in, and if you needed to access different things, as well as for ventilation, particularly because the Rams have the intercooler right down here in this area. So we wanted there to be plenty of ventilation going through here, as well as through this area. We also incorporated the sensor plugs on the newest version of this, so you can put the sensors in, but we'll talk more about sensors here a little bit, and some of the things that we did on the new RAM specifically, and the things that we liked versus the older sensors that come on the 17, 18 models. Now the earlier model RAM that we have here, we ended up having 3 different bumpers when all was said and done for it. Versus on the new 19s, we're able to integrate into basically one bumper. The previous model, we ended up with a Power Wagon version and a diesel version, as well as our original Range Max version. With this one, we just went straight to Range Max Ultra. We kind of combined everything together. So what we did that's unique with this one, of course, is it's one piece. Now the one piece allowed us also to do a bull bar that was welded on, which we're happy about. This might be something that actually makes its way to the earlier models. Now the shackle is still a bolt-in piece, so this can be changed out, swapped out, or there may be future versions of this that are a little bit different or that can be added. There's also the sensor holes, which this time around, to make it all look pretty, we color matched to the vehicle. But the sensor hole locations are separate, so if you don't have the sensors, you don't have to have holes in your bumpers with plugs. You'll be able to have a nice ornamental piece right there, or something similar. We made provisions for these side lights because they act as cornering lights. I'm not sure this features on all the models, but I know it's on the Power Wagon that we got. So we made it work with that. We also have our auxiliary light port here that can fit up to a little bit more than the 5-inch round light, or something around that size. You can also see that there's lots of openings, just like the older models, so you can get a lot of ventilation as well as a lot of access to inside. If you have the OEM winch mount, you can get to your clutch lever right here, you can get to it right here, you can actually get to it from underneath as well. So you have lots of access. You also have a window here that you can see in, and you can watch the spooling happen on your winch, so you can make sure not to damage your cable or rope or your winch during the recovery process. Now, the roof on this, they added a few different things. One you'll notice is antenna. This is the original style with antenna, right? Does a little thing like that for your radio. On the 19s now, that little guy right there is your antenna. Now because of that, what we ended up doing, and also because of the marker lights that are on the Power Wagon, we ended up shortening the rack a little bit, tightening it up so we could squeeze all that in so we had plenty of clearance. But let's keep going. Now, here's our back racks. Not a lot of changes here. It's a lot of the same thing, but we did do some upgrades. Upgrades would include stuff like these right here. This is our proprietary load bar structure or load bar system. It's a wider slat, but it's also a little bit thinner. And we are able to make this back rack system right here that all links it all together. So taking this tent off, you have a nice area where you've got plenty of structure, load a lot of extra stuff. And if you look up here on our mounts, a lot of nice little holes for additional mounting and locationing for straps and things like that. Now here at the back of the vehicles, we have our dual swing out tire carrier systems. Now we set them up very similar, and there's not a lot of major changes here other than what we had to do to the model years. However, we will talk a little bit more on the sensors and what we are able to do on that end. Between the two vehicles, this one's running a 40, this one's running a 38. Now, we have had some feedback that comes from the sensors picking up this tire, just because, well, it is what it is. It's a really big tire. But at times, sensors work and they'll pick up the tire, other times they won't. There's a lot of upgrades that came in with the 19s though. The sensors, in my opinion, are much better designed. And we have a lot less feedback issues. We also were able to, because of the extra amount of wire that came on the 19s, we were able to put the sensors where we wanted them. Now, according to the dealer, something that is new on the 2019 model year specifically is 2019 and newer, is this guy right here. Now, we wanted to incorporate it and make sure that you could utilize this step still and make it all function. So we actually kicked it this way and moved it back a little bit so it's still nice and tight. If we didn't, it would be hanging out here and it would be nice and low. So we tried to pull it in, but we made it so you can still use this guy with our dual swing out tire carrier. All right, now let's talk interior. So the new Ram interior is absolutely gorgeous. That is the straight up truth. If you're getting one of these with the extremely large touchscreen, it's clean. It's very nice to navigate through. You have so many options of what you can see with the cameras and all those things. Now, one big negative though, so far, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to find a way around it, is there's really no good locations for auxiliary switches anywhere in this car. That makes it a little difficult. Now, compared to the other one, of course, is you still have your touchscreen up here. However, you also have buttons for all your climate control and everything like that, plus a lot of really nice auxiliary switches, which I loved about the 17 model Ram that we have over there. This one, there really is no auxiliary switches. There's no location to actually put an auxiliary switch. I'm hoping that we'll find a way inside here that we can actually maybe have an auxiliary switch set up in here, but I'm not so sure as of yet. Now, I will say though, that even though it's very awkward searching for the climate, it's also like, here's your heating controls, and they're all kind of in here, and you have to mess with the flat screen rather than just having a button that you can press. There is something that's just so unique and wonderful and cool about this specific setup. It's just really cool. I mean, I guess what I'm saying is, for some reason, even with its cumbersome nature, I like this one better. Now, to conclude this wonderful video here of the comparison, both of these vehicles are awesome, beautiful vehicles. I'm very happy that I was actually able to own both of them. Of course, this one goes away today, which is so sad, but it's going to a new owner, a good owner, and a man that will appreciate it, which I'm happy about. The products that we developed for the new Ram, I think, are stellar products, and I'm really happy about the changes that Ram made between the vehicles. I know they didn't make the changes for me, but in the end, they were very good for us on the realm of being able to make good, awesome aftermarket equipment for you guys out there. So till next time, have fun out there, stay safe, wear your seatbelts, don't drink too much sugar, 0 calorie. I'm gonna be really quick about this. Yep, filming. Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah. Nobody walks in frame either. They all like hide. You know what's funny? We used to be the same height.
We are.
It's what we all get to look forward to eventually. We're all going to shrink. So enjoy that, people out there.
Yeah.
You're all going to shrink.